We will now hear from Superintendent Nelson.
Thank you, President Whitaker, members of the board, and to my dear friends from Golden. As soon as I speak and my family leaves, there'll be a lot more seating in the front. So thank you for your patience with that. Appreciate you very much. It is with no small degree of mixed feelings that I present what will be my last formal superintendent remarks from the dais here in Fresno Unified during my tenure as Fresno Unified's 23rd superintendent. First and foremost, I just want to express my gratitude to my colleagues on the Board of Trustees to be given this opportunity to be present at the time of transition. Quite frankly, there are precious few superintendents in major urban school districts across the United States with an average tenure of just 30 months, where all parties get to be active participants in a peaceful transition of power from one leader to the next. Oftentimes, these transitions are actually fraught with really hard feelings, and individuals are being forced to depart, or there's some significant drama in these circumstances. It's the mark of stability of Fresno Unified that all of us are still here at the same table in support of one another through the transition process. So thank you, board, so very much for that. And thanks as well for your sustaining support over the past 7.5 years. Stability matters. And I'm sorry, Shelley, I won't go so fast. I'll try to remember to go slow, my last set of remarks for you and Maya. Stability matters, there is no question. And as a governance team, it's important for the public to know, this board and superintendent joint governing body, we represent the third longest tenured governance team of the 70 major urban school districts that comprise the Council of the Great City Schools. In fact, the number of governance teams that actually remained intact on both sides of the pandemic was fewer than 5 across our entire nation. And I express my gratitude with you for allowing me to serve as your superintendent, even as we became the enforcement arm of COVID health policy. There is no question that time was equally hard for superintendents and board trustees alike, up and down the state of California. And after successful negotiation of multiple union agreements, a few of which you know were very contentious, it's safe to say we've been through a great deal together. And so thanks to all 7 of you for your support and for your trust during that process. A lot has changed since I came to the district back in November of 1991. My first 6th grade teaching position was actually at Burroughs Elementary. Some of my long-term colleagues may remember. It was in a school that housed 1,300 elementary school students, and we actually bused another 700 students to a site called Burroughs Annex, which was being built under the 180 freeway that was being built at that time. All of our 1,300 students were on 90/30 year-round. We crammed as many students into one school as we possibly could, and our schools were subject to significant overcrowding because we could not successfully pass a bond in Fresno. Fast forward to today, where we've successfully passed several bonds in succession, A, K, Q, X, and then most recently, Measure M, which went for $325 million, which allowed us to build schools like Herrera, or knock down the juvenile hall facility on Kings Canyon Road in exchange for the new school that's going in there, Farber, which opens this fall. The level of trust that's been established, thank you, Alex. The level of trust that's been established with our community over that time is considerable. And it's critical to offer gratitude for our community for passing those bonds and for believing in the promise of Fresno Unified. Back in 2017, actually, when I came into the superintendency, you may recall, several trustees actually ran in that platform on an election campaign that there were no effective college and career readiness programs for students in Fresno Unified. It's safe to say that work has exploded over the last 7.5 years, starting with the kickoff, if you remember, in 2017, of the heavy truck facility at Duncan. And it's now expanded across our city to affect the life of every child in every school. This board has supported things like HVAC at Fresno High, the Public Service Academy at Roosevelt, the Multimedia Lab at McLean, the Teachers Academy at Hoover, where we raise our own teachers, and still much more on the horizon, with facilities under construction as we speak. Things like the agriculture pathway that's coming at Sunnyside, or the aviation school at Chandler Airfield in 93706, where kids have never been on the inside of that fence. All of that has happened as a result of this board's work over the last 7.5 years. During our tenure as a governance team, we also promoted a college-going culture. Would you have ever imagined the day that every single one of our eligible high school students would be guaranteed enrollment at Fresno State? That is the case right now. And moreover, that we would have a foundation with $20 million present there to finance some of those collegiate dreams for local students to live and serve and lead right here in the Central Valley. That part is amazing, and it gives me great hope for the future. And what's moreover, it's not an empty promise, as evidenced by the fact that Fresno State just accepted as incoming freshmen 2,150 Fresno Unified students, which will make us a third of their entering enrollment. I'm incredibly proud of the fact that this board had the strength of character to set as one of its 5 major goals to hire a staff that directly represents the students whom we serve, and that we now have 10 years of successive growth in that direction. There's a lot made in the political world today around the concept of equity and DEI hiring and all of that, but I'll say this. You want to make sure that you have a leader who's willing to surround herself or himself with people that do not look like, talk like, act like, think like, or have the same lived experience as them. We all make better choices when we expose ourselves and our thinking to people who are not exactly like ourselves. And Fresno's main jam, the thing that makes our community the most beautiful, is its diversity. I know that pipeline work is going to outlive my tenure here. But this board has made a collective commitment to making sure that our district reflects the best that our community brings to the table, racially, linguistically, economically, you name it. I'm thankful to know that Fresno Unified is going to continue on its equity-centered pipeline development in every possible classification. In Fresno, we grow our own. 78% of our teachers came through our own pipeline programs as students here. And I'm going to Fresno State with the express intent that we're going to grow our own leaders here in the Valley as well. I know that a lot is said about our students' overall proficiency levels. That's a constant area of growth and focus for us as a system. It is hard and a little disingenuous, frankly, when students from abject poverty are placed on the same sliding scale with students of privilege, but that doesn't in any way absolve us of the responsibility to make sure they meet the same end goal. I am incredibly proud of the fact that our students are closing the gap to proficiency at a rate that is better and faster and more complete than any of the other 13 major urban school districts across the state of California. Moreover, I'm thankful for the fact that as a district, we're actually countering chronic absenteeism at a rate that's faster than any other major urban system in our state, and we're in the top 5 nationally as well, as we're getting kids back to school. What's different? In Fresno, we're willing to reach out to the individual. The people that work in the back are on a one-by-one, kid-by-kid journey, making good on the board's commitment to expand social-emotional sports for students. Over the last 7 years, social-emotional sports grew from less than $10 million to over $50 million over that same span, to go out and find the hearts and minds of every kid. We're getting in every home, figuring out how we can best help get those kids back to the school on the basis of the commitment our board made. It's really hard to begin giving thanks. Once you start down that road, you're going to be in deep trouble. Over 3 decades, there's a lot of people to offer gratitude to. Almost everybody has put themselves out there in some meaningful way to make sure that we were successful. First and foremost, though, I need to make sure I sustain my own internal office. Maria, Annette, Lucille, Gina, Luz, of course, Amber and Misty, without whom, quite frankly, I could not and would not have functioned in this role. Anybody who thinks classified people are not the equal and opposite, you need to check yourself, right? It is not about having a teaching credential. It's about paying it forward in the lives and minds of the kids that we serve. Don't ever question it. I'm thankful for our senior leaders and for our site leaders who engaged in this critical work. It's a hard time in leadership. The current politicization of K-12 education has made leadership a lot less attractive. And that's what I'm going to fix. We need Valley leaders that are trained to support Valley youth. Same as in our teacher pipeline program, same within our para program. It's our job to develop our own. Nobody else is going to come and rescue Fresno. I'm thankful for people like Robert who get that, who come home and say, I'm going to serve and let's go. I need people that are willing to lead despite obstacles. That takes a great deal of bravery in today's America. I'll tell you this, one thing that has not changed in the 33 years I've worked here is the quality of people who serve in Fresno Unified. Teachers, classified professionals, leaders, volunteers, everyone is the gold standard. There's no question when you're doing this work in Fresno, you're making a dent in the universe in ways that are substantive and that they really matter. Serving as the first internal candidate to serve in the superintendency in 30 years has been the greatest honor of my career to date. Everyone in my sphere who helped make that a reality, I offer my sincere and abiding gratitude. I'm super thankful to be able to turn the reins of leadership over to my dear friend, Interim Superintendent Mao Misty Her. We served together, as many of you know, a long time. She started teaching at John Burroughs, same as me. So that's a comfort. And I have every confidence in her ability to lead in ways that are far beyond my ability to lead. She'll be better tomorrow than I was in the last 7.5 years. Of that, I'm fairly confident. And lastly, and most importantly, and the reason I'm taking this much time to talk, it's my purview, I'll do whatever I wish. Let me just be very clear about that. The single group who has sustained me the longest and the hardest and the most through these tense moments in my life are the 9 people sitting across the front of the boardroom tonight. This part's hard. My wife, the dear and amazing Tiffany Sappington Nelson. Our kids, Benjamin, Philip, Joshua, Destiny, Abigail, Ashton, and Sawyer. My daughter-in-law, Hannah, who's in Provo tonight. My mother-in-law, who's here, Charlene, is here with us tonight. And the woman who put me on the path of serving others as a primary focus of life is here tonight, my mother, Eva Nelson. My time as a superintendent has not been easy for any of them. It's not easy to see your dad portrayed in the media in ways that are less than respectful. It's hard to be an 80-year-old woman who sees your kid on a TV commercial. That's hard. It's not easy to have other kids at school, or worse yet, other adults at school come at you in weird ways because they're not happy with what your dad has done or decided. That's hard. It's not easy to have people tear your husband apart on social media without really being able to respond or offer any rebuttal. My wife is so tired of me hearing me say, "It's fine, babe, it's fine." She hates that. Don't say it to her. But this group has endured. Mostly because to a person, they understand the larger contextual conversation that we're here in this life in order to serve. And they know collectively that despite the rough spots in this journey, that it's about helping every single one of our 70,000 kids every day that you can. I'm thankful that this change may change in some way with additional time spent together, some additional margin, some additional degree of support. I'm looking very much forward to just being a father and a husband and a son more regularly and with a little more intention and a little more focus and with a lot less pacing on the phone outside. I love all of you. Thank you for hanging with me through all of it. So people make a lot about militant positivity, and I'll finish with this. Militant positivity should never be confused with wearing rose-colored glasses and pretending things are good when they aren't good. Militant positivity is about showing up every day, ready to be and giving your best self, even in the face of blinding difficulty or aggressive resistance. It's about having the resilience and the grit to just refuse to stop doing what you believe to be right in the name and support of children. You don't stop because others don't like it. Leadership involves alienating some people at times. If everyone thinks you're a good leader, you're probably not doing anything of significance in this life. I'm super thankful for the opportunity I've had to model the concept of militant positivity for 7.5 years in this role, and I'm super thankful for the opportunity to leave entirely of my own volition and entirely on my own terms. That is a gift that precious few superintendents actually receive. And that came at your behest. Thank you, trustees. I'm incredibly thankful for the kids and the families of this amazing city who provided me the opportunity to serve them for as long as I have. All of my adult life, I've been a teacher, a vice principal, a principal, an HR administrator, a superintendent here. I love Fresno. Nobody is harder on Fresno than Fresnans. And that's something I intend to keep working on and actively combating at the leadership level. To each and every one of you, I offer my abiding gratitude for this opportunity. Thank you. And in departing, I leave you with one request. Keep loving our kids. Keep treating them like you would your own children. Or better yet, actually orient to all 70,000 as though they are our collective own children. Our kids represent the very best of what Fresno brings to the table every single day. To everybody I've served alongside, I love you. That sounds like platitude, but it's real. I just appreciate and am thankful for you. May God bless all of you in your journey. And seriously, thank you for everything. And I turn the time back over. Thank you. God bless you and thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Superintendent Nelson.
President Richard, we have a couple little gifts for him. We always give retirees a bear, but we're not truly retiring. So you have a giant bear, and you have a bulldog for Fresno State.
Let's go! Let's go. All right, very good. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to welcome our interim superintendent, Misty Herr. Congratulations. And we will take a brief recess for 10 minutes.